50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
What's up, everyone? This is Blue Nova Dream Cloud Digital, and I'm going to be giving you all a new tutorial on Majid Jordan and PartyNextDoor's new song called One I Want. I know it's been a while since I've been doing these tutorials, kind of been inconsistent with it, I'll go ahead and admit, but I'm going to get back on track with it and really just show y'all all that, you know, I can help you out with vocal mixing. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and turn everything off. I'm going to turn off what I had on the master. And I'm going to go ahead and play the first effect that we have on the vocal chain. And this is going to be the raw audio. So let me mute this, the instrumental, and the background ad-libs. So I'm going to go ahead and play it raw.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So what I did, I set the input type on soprano voice, the key E, scale minor, retune speed, put it at 10, scale detune, just make sure these settings are how it is, humanize to 0, and just make sure to pause the screen and get these exact settings if yours are different.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
The next thing I have is the EQUO. This is exactly how I put it. I know it's kind of hard to follow these exact measures. You're just lining as far as the EQ went, but you can go to my site and get the FLP after watching this video. I'm gonna go ahead and play the vocal quality.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
Next thing I have is the Fruity Parametric EQ2. I went ahead and cut up to 100 hertz just to get rid of that low end. This is how it sounds.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
Next thing I did, added another parametric EQ2 just to raise some of the frequencies, just a little bit in the lower mid, upper mid frequency, and in the high. So on the first band, I had a 63 hertz, 61%. Second, 136 hertz, 39%. 239 at 39%. 600 hertz, 39%. I have the fifth band, 1492 hertz at 39%. The sixth, 1519 hertz, 39%. And the seventh at 5344 is 61%. And I'll go ahead and play it.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So the vocals, you know, kind of harsh in the upper frequency. I know it's gonna need de-esser. So next thing I have is the Waves de-esser stereo. And what I did is I put the audio on split, frequency 8773, sidechain, select high pass, monitor audio. I dropped the threshold down to -35. This is how it sounds.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So now that I have that, I put another de-esser just to take care of some other high frequencies in the vocal mix. So the same thing, put the frequency at, well, the frequency on here is 8592. The sidechain, high pass, monitor audio, and I put the threshold down to -40. This is how it sounds.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
Next thing is the Fruity Reverb 2. This one, this one is different from the ones that I had before. I know in the original song with PND, there wasn't much reverb. There was like a reverb delay. So when the vocal actually plays, it wasn't just, you know, sitting on the vocal, it was a little bit after. So I'll show you exactly how I did that. The first thing I did, I put the pre-delay at 752 milliseconds. The bass, turned it all the way to 100. Put the decay time, 2.2 seconds. Put the high cut, put it at 0.5 kilohertz. Or you can put it at 0.7. Size of the room, turned it all the way up. Put the crossover at 490 hertz. The high damp, I put it at 4.7. the cut right here, put it at 1533 hertz. Diffusion, turn it all the way up. Just make sure with these, reset it. Just make sure it's all the way up and reset this. For the wet, I put the wet at 50%, and I'll go ahead and play it.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So now, like, you can tell that the reverb isn't exactly when the vocals play, but it's a little bit after, so it adds a delay. The next thing I have is a fruity limiter, and I brought the gain up until it hit the ceiling of the vocals, and I set the vocals here at -9 decibels. Make sure you just had everything reset. Release, reset it, ahead. I put it at 9.89 milliseconds, and I'll go ahead and play the audio.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So now that we have that, the next thing was the vocal, the background vocals, and pretty much it's not really anything different as opposed to this. This one you can honestly just right click and file and save mixer track state as, and then just go to the next one and go to file and then open it. Just make sure you open that same mixer track as before. Really the only thing that's different on here is the fruity reverb 2, and I made sure to delay cause I made the background ad-libs, I just wanted to fill more space. So the pre-delay, put it at 52 milliseconds. Put the bass here, I kept it at 71 or 70%. Put the decay time, 92 seconds. High cut, just turn it all the way to the middle, 11.3. Size of the room, 36. Crossover, 510. The damp, 5.3. Low cut, just straight down the middle, 1574. Diffusion, turn all the way up. Just right click and reset all these to make sure it fills in wide. And I'm gonna go ahead and play it with it.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So the next thing was delay on it. Put the vocal volume for the delay. I put it right here in the middle is where I usually keep it at. I leave everything alone. Just make sure keep the feedback normal. Set the time all the way to the middle. Keep the time all the way in the middle, and then just leave everything else how it is. Just make sure that when you do have the time and delay, make sure the tempo is matched on to with the beat and the vocals. That's the only way how it's gonna reflect back in time. So the next and the last thing is the mastering on the beat. And really the person who I can't remember the name of the producer right now, but I'll put the name of the producer in the description of who remade the instrumental. But the master, I kept it all the way up. The high, I think I really just left everything alone this time. But I dropped the bass down to 1.8 decibels because I usually like to keep my bass at -6. And this is how it sounds.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want. 150 bands later, you the one I want. 200 bands, baby, you the one I want.
So, very last thing, didn't do too much with Maximus. Honestly, all I did was, actually this time I didn't do anything. If you want, like I told you before in my other tutorials, I usually like to keep the band dropped down and make sure that the compression for this high frequency is at -6. But for this time, I just left it alone. It's usually like the first time I really did that. And then the last thing is Isotope Ozone 5, just to bring up the mix and just to make sure that it's mastered really loud. And what I did is I brought the threshold down to -6. And then another thing I did, I added a post equalizer. And what I did, I just turned on the brick wall low pass. So go to low pass and then brick wall. and then it cuts off the high frequency that's not really needed, and really to clean up the whole mix. And make sure to have that. The EQ would probably be right here. Just make sure to set it way before the loud maximizer. And this will be the last thing. This is how it's gonna sound.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this tutorial. If you have any questions, make sure to email me at bluenovabeats@gmail.com. Make sure to subscribe, really subscribe, and comment what tutorials you want next. And like I said, I'll try to be more consistent. If you need any beats, mixing, and mastering, just go to bluenovabeats.com and contact me there if you want to too. So just thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all on the next tutorial.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 100 bands later, you the one I want.